For years, a group of aviation enthusiasts here wanted a Catalina, one of the world's oldest, loveliest, rarest, most historic flying boats. And this is the same group who had their dreams smashed some months back when another Catalina being flown here across the Pacific ploughed into the ocean in the dark of night. Horrible business. Well, today, the Catalina flew proudly up the harbour at Auckland and flew on to New Plymouth. Chris Wright was there.
We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know where.
The sight of something long past, a flight from the past, a big old Catalina flying boat. In 50 years, the world below its wings has changed, but the plane its pilots call Dumbo lumbers on. The ugly duck that could fly.
Charlie Alpha Tango, I affirm the QNH is 1015.
There was a time when the sight of a Catalina flying boat signified trouble. During World War II, they prowled the Pacific skies looking for enemy subs and ships. They could stay in the air for 30 hours. The big slow bombers were saviours too. Hundreds of airmen who had ditched in the sea owe their lives to the Catalinas as they swooped down to pluck them to safety.
It has a lot of history in New Zealand. The Royal New Zealand Air Force flew these during the war and after the war. They had about 50 in all. They also had a squadron in Africa. So there's a lot of people who remember them and flew them and were tied up with them. And as I said, in our history, it plays a significant part.
Now one is back in our skies. The last passenger licensed Catalina in the world. The end of a dream.
Unreal. I think that's probably the best way of describing it.
It's the second time flying enthusiasts here have tried to get a Catalina to New Zealand. In January, one was on its way, but a misfiring engine forced it to ditch in the mid-Pacific.
I'll never forget that first thump when we hit it. It was a great crunch, and then it got quiet again.
We had to abandon ship while she was sitting there. And I've never lost an aircraft before. And I don't think it's something you get used to either.
Its crew were rescued, and their dreams appeared to go down with the old aircraft.
Seeing that other airplane sink was just an absolute tragedy, and all our work had gone down the drain, literally, so we resolved to get on and find another one.
With insurance money and a lot of persistence, one of the last Catalinas is about to make New Zealand its home. A 13-day delivery flight from the wilds of Zimbabwe to the calm of Taranaki skies rekindles the enthusiast's dream.
Oh, all sorts of memories, wartime memories. They were certainly a great aircraft. Slow, but reliable.
New Plymouth is the old amphibian's final stop. After nearly 20,000 kilometres, it touches down on New Zealand soil for the first time. For the pilot, it's been a labour of love.
Well, you set it up and it's in an attitude and it'll stay there for a little bit and then it'll just wander off and do something else and you've got to come back and set it up again. It keeps you busy all the time.
The Catalina is fitted with seats for 16 passengers, and for the past 4 years, it's been plying the Nile from Egypt to Zimbabwe. After hundreds of hours in the pilot's seat, they can finally leave the plane behind. It's now planned to display the old aircraft around the country. After 50 years, the Catalina is back in New Zealand skies.
Beautiful aircraft, and good luck to the syndicate who brought her here to New Zealand. She'll make a grand sight, landing on Lake Taupo and Lake Rotorua early next year. And how well she floats too. Better than Qantas will, perhaps. The moral of the story being today, if you can't compete, get protection. See the Australian Prime Minister. That's Holmes tonight.